I know Melissa. I got to meet Nick. I'm sorry.
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Ah, you're like Olga's favorite girl right there. You know
Yes.
that? Yes. Maxine, I met you just briefly, and I was rubbing up on your husband, who is
Guy.
Guy. Or I was rubbing up on that guy. Guys, I want to thank you all for coming out. One of the things Caldwell Baker's trying to do, and I'm Jason. If you guys haven't met me before, I'm the team leader up here. And one of the things we're trying to do as we go into 2019 and beyond is add additional value to people who are in our database and such like that, and try to be more of a service in between transactions. We want to make this more than just a real estate transaction. We want to play a bigger role in your lives and try to help whatever those things are. One of the things Dale Diedrich does is financial advocacy. That's why we're here. He's actually going to give 2 of his presentations today, building a basic budget and understanding your credit report. And what's I think exciting is Dale does this out of the kindness of his heart. Right? He's really driven to do it. He's been doing it for a lot of years, and it's so cool to be able to partner with Dale and be able to do some of this. So with that, guys, I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Dale Diedrich, and I hope you guys. I'm going to be bouncing in here, so I might snuggle up. I'll stay away from Guy. Maxine was angry at me, but I might come in and just sit down with you guys and enjoy. But enjoy yourselves. Ask a lot of questions and let us know how we can do better for you in the future. Sound good? With that, the legendary Dale Diedrich, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jason. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you, folks, for coming in. And I really got to give you credit for actually being here. Because adults, we're supposed to know how to handle money, right? We're supposed to be fluent how we handle our finances. But unfortunately, not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people can teach us that, right? So where do we get that information? Actually, when I was growing up, my mom used to work at a bank. She never taught me anything. So we basically had to learn it ourselves. And that's where a lot of our community is. We're basically on our own. And the problem is we learn from our mistakes. And those mistakes can turn out to be very, very costly. So what we've got today is, like Jason has mentioned, the first session is going to be about budgeting. And really the start of all your financial ventures starts with budgeting. If you have a good concept of where your money goes, you're going to be doing good. But if you don't know where your money goes, you're probably right. You have no idea where it goes. You had money at the start of the month, and at the end of the month or middle of the month, it's gone. But what happened to this? We're going to give you some tools to help you do that. But basically, folks, every person in every type of income bracket struggles with handling money. I don't care if you're a professional realtor, if you're a professional banker, livestock, whatever. People struggle with handling money. I saw a survey recently that said 47% of us couldn't even handle a $400 emergency. That's pretty dramatic, and that's one of the things that we really want to focus on is how can we get prepared for some of these what-if type of situations. Okay, like Jason had mentioned, if you got any questions, please raise your hand. I like to keep my sessions really informal, pretty loose, so I'm going to be talking a lot about my wife, my son, so please keep everything in this room. Don't let it get back to her. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, today's objectives, and I think everybody's got a hand up there. We're going to help you understand all of the steps to set up a spending plan. We're going to be able to identify some of the spending leaks, and these are things that everybody has. We're going to show you some different ways to track your spending, and it's really easier than you may think. And some of the tools that we're going to provide you, that's going to help you on your journey. And then we're going to be able to show you how to set short, mid, and long-term goals. We're going to show you how to audit the progress, and then finally, how to use the financial tools that we provided you to help you reach those goals, whatever they are. So let's start out with in your course activity. If you can look at that second page, it says, where are you now? It's a little questionnaire that I like to hand out. And what I like to do is go ahead and read the questions. You can go ahead and circle them, yes or no. I'm not going to ask you to read them, so you can be as brutally honest as you can, okay? So we'll start out with the first one. Do you feel like you're in control of your money? Yes or no? Do you have a spending plan or a budget in writing? Yes or no? It's got to be in writing. Do you have financial goals in writing? Do you have an adequate emergency fund of at least $400? Okay? Do you regularly track your spending using different methods like a receipt can, ledger, envelopes, account book, anything? Do you regularly track your spending? Yes or no? Okay? Have you calculated your net worth in the last year? Does everybody know what a net worth is? Okay, good. Net worth is where you take all your property that you have, you know, gun collections, coin collections, jewelry, cars, livestock, property, houses, whatever. You add up all those values. Then you add up all the obligations that you have to pay off. So if you would sell everything that you own and pay off everything that you owe, the difference is your net worth. That would be how you manage things. It's really important to do your net worth yearly, because that way you see if you're progressing year to year. So if your net worth's going up, you're doing good. If your net worth's going down, you need to reevaluate, you know, your financial position and see why it went down. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, good. Do you regularly talk with family members about your finances or your financial goals? Yes or no? A lot of us don't do that. And are you on track for saving money for your long-term goals? Okay? So how did you do? Not too good. We can probably, if you answer honestly, you could probably do a little bit better, right? Yeah. But we're going to show you that. So, hi. If you want to get a handout or pen.
Okay.
So these are some more questions that I'd like to ask yourself. Do you pay yourself last? Okay. Does anybody know what that kind of concept is? Do you pay yourself last? Do you invest in yourself? Do you put money in a 401k? Do you put money in a savings account? Do you pay yourself last and then pay your bills? Next one. Do you spend more than you make? Of course I do. It's the American way. Do you live beyond your means? I sure do, you know, because my brother got a brand new house. I want to get one just like him. You know, my sister just got a brand new Chevy Silverado. I'm driving a 2008, you know, I got to get a brand new one just like her. You know, we live beyond our means. Do we charge things instead of saving for them? Use that plastic credit card. No? Right, credit cards are dangerous. Do you realize that there's over $2 trillion in credit card debt in 2018? That's huge. You know, credit card companies love us for doing that. And do you thinking about emergency funds but fail to have one? Have you ever thought about one at all? You know, those what if kind of situations, you know, we've got to get prepared for that. An ideal emergency fund would be at least 6 months of your income. That would be ideal. But some of us think that that's like climbing Mount Everest. You know, how am I going to save that? Well, you got to do it step at a time, right? You know, little $20 a paycheck, $30 a paycheck, 50, whatever you can do that. They help build you up that emergency fund. But I'd even start smaller. You know, build like maybe a $200 emergency fund, so you don't have to go up to the 400. But just start with something so that you can cover those things whenever they do happen. And then finally, do we spend uncontrollably? Of course I do, especially since I keep getting those dang credit card offers. You know, they want me to get into debt. You know, so why not? But we need to also, you know, really establish that emergency fund, and I can't stress that enough. And we're going to cover that a little bit more. So, in all of our life cycles, there's 4 different money cycles that a lot of us experience. The first one is that where we earn money, we spend money. We earn money and we spend it. These folks are basically in cycle 1, living paycheck to paycheck. You know, that's how they live. And that's where a lot of us fall into play. The second one is cycle 2. This is where they earn, they spend, and then they turn around and borrow some more so they can spend that too. These folks are getting confused with their wants and their needs. And this is really dangerous because they rely on debt to maintain that standard of living. And what's that going to cause? That's going to cause some issues down the road, right? Okay? The next one is where we earn money, we spend it, and then maybe we've got a little bit left over, we'll save that. Okay, this cycle, they understand the importance of savings, they just don't put it as a priority. Okay? Now the cycle 4, this is where I want all of us to be, is where you earn before you spend anything. You save a little bit of money. You know, the goal would be at least to save at least 10%. You know, I wish everybody could save that. By that time, by the time you folks retire, be millionaires if we could do that. Unfortunately, that's not going to be realistic with some of us living paycheck to paycheck. You know, but this is the most important cycle. This group really understands the need that they do have to save first. Okay, and this is where I want all of us to be. Okay, so our goal is to transition from cycle 1, 2, or 3 all the way to 4. Any questions? Okay. All right. Now, once we start getting a hold of our money, or managing our money, there's a lot of things that really are benefits. First of all, it frees up time to do the things that you want to, you know, with your family, your friends, so you don't have to get that second part-time job, right? The second one is less stress means better health. 90% of the stress in a relationship is related to what? Money. I was glad nobody said men. So, thank you. When you achieve your goals, that gives you a greater form of satisfaction. I mean, you're seeing your debts being paid off. You're seeing your savings accumulate. You're actually seeing a lot of good things happen, and it makes you feel a lot better, right? So it eliminates a little bit of that stress. And then finally, greater control of your money equals greater peace of mind, okay? So, one of the major steps in that is an essential part to managing your money is determining what a need versus a want is. A need is only the 4 basic things: food, transportation, housing, and clothing. If my wife was here, she would add shoes and purses as a need. And we were arguing about that when I was telling her, I'm going to talk about you tomorrow. She goes, well, wait a minute, you know, if you're saying that clothes or shoes are not a need, she goes, well, it's clothing, right? I said, okay, I'll give you that one. She goes, but if you get a pair of shoes, you got to have a matching purse to go with it, right? Got me. Well, okay, you got me. I'll give it to you. But everything else are a need. So, an essential part of managing your money is setting smart financial goals. Okay? First of all, it's got to be specific. You know, your goals have to be specific. Like say, I want to retire. Okay? Well, that's pretty random, right? But if you say, I want to retire with $1 million in my savings account, and I want to be debt-free, I want to retire when I'm 65, you know, you're pretty specific on that. You're really listing those necessary things that are going to get you there. It just can't be random. It's got to be measured. Yeah, it's got to be measurable. You know, so as you're getting near that retirement phase, you can see your balances grow. You can see your debts being paid off. It's measurable. You can see some tangible items there. It's got to be adjustable, because folks, guess what? Life happens. Those of us who have already experienced life, yeah, it happens. Things change. You know, year to year, month to month, quarter to quarter. You know, what was normal 2 months ago may not be normal today. You know, some twists and turns may have happened. It's definitely got to be realistic. So if you're thinking about a 300-foot yacht, it's probably not realistic for a Gallup, right? Besides, where are you going to float it? Blue water? And just go around in a little circle? You know, probably doesn't make sense. And then finally, it's got to be time-oriented. It's got to be 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, whatever the case may be. But it's all within a time frame, okay? Now, setting goals, there's basically 3 different types. The first one is the short term. So these are all the short-term goals. These are going to be purchases that you might make within the next 6 to 12 months. You know, new big screen TV for the Super Bowl, laptop, washer, dryer, new cell phone. Anybody want a new set of golf clubs besides me? Okay, then that's my goal. Okay, the next one is the midterm. And these are the goals within the next 2 to 5 years. So that might be a trip to Hawaii, maybe a family vacation to go to Disneyland or whatever. Maybe that 1967 Jaguar XKE, that's my goal. I had to add that. Wouldn't I look cool driving down Gallup in a Jaguar until I hit one of the potholes? The whole thing drops, yeah. That wouldn't look good. But I keep telling my wife, this is my goal. You know, of course, I've been married 40 years, and it's still my goal, and I still don't have it. She said, one of these days, you'll get that car. And I'm waiting for her to buy me one of those little matchbox and say, here, you got your car. Yeah. And the final one is the long term. These are more than 5 years away. So there's that 300-foot yacht. In case you guys decide to go ahead and get that yacht, go ahead. But there's the retirement, because we're looking for that. Maybe a vacation home. Just different things. But I want to make sure that all of your goals should be yours independently. It shouldn't be your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your dads, your uncles, anybody else like that. Your goals should be independent. So what I want to go now is back to our course activity guide and take a look at this. This form right here really lists a lot of the stuff on how to set up a goal. Or the short-term, mid-range, and long-term goal. It should be like the third page down in your course activities. There you go. Okay. So you can see the short range, and then it's got target dates, it's got total needed, which you have current savings, if anything you have currently saved for that goal. Additional savings that you're going to need. So if you're short a little bit, you can add that money on there. Pay periods until that date. Savings needed per pay period, and then savings needed per month. So it really goes into great detail on how to help you succeed and get that goal. So you would basically just list whatever it is, and then there's your plan on how to succeed. Okay? Any questions on that one? Pretty good form. Okay? The next, basically I want to really identify what is a spending plan. Because in my mind, it should be, what is a savings plan? I want to turn that whole concept around. But definitely a spending plan is a blueprint of your day-to-day personal financial success. Okay? And it starts with only two key components: income and expenses. So it makes it pretty easy, right? So it shouldn't be that difficult. But what I'd like you guys to think about your households at, try to run your household like a business. Okay? Put it into that sort of context. So you've got money coming in from your business, and you've got bills going out, right? So if you've got a lot of money coming in and very little bills going out, how's your business running? Pretty good. But if you've got very little coming in and a whole bunch going out, what's going to happen to your business?
Crumble.
It's going to crumble. Bankrupt, exactly. All the other bad stuff, But think about that context a little bit different and change that mentality for me. So now we'll go into the steps of setting up a spending plan. And the first step is to list all your income sources. And like my grandson, he thinks the ATM is an income source. Wrong, it is not. You gotta have the money in there first before you take it out. So now I want you to go back to that course activity, and we'll take a look at this page now. And keep this one handy because we're gonna refer to this back. Okay, so you can see that spending plan, there it is. And there it is for a month. So you got your name, you can date it. For the month of, start it in May. Okay, you start off with your monthly income, whether it's earned income or unearned income. Now, what would be unearned income? Like dividends from savings or interest from savings, alimony, support payments, something like that. And then you just list that, what the plan is, what you plan on getting, and then what you get actually. Okay, so that's one of the first steps up here. And then we're going to go down the bottom of this a little bit later on, down the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. But keep this one handy for us. Okay, step number 2 is to identify how you spend your money now. And basically, there's really only 3 ways to spend your money. Okay, the payments are going to be fixed, like your house payment or a car payment. You know that I've got a car payment and it's going to be $397.12 for 60 months. You know that that is going to be fixed until you pay it off. The same as your house. It's going to be fixed until you pay it off. The next one is going to be flexible. So these things can change month to month. The food, if you go up to Farmington, go hit Sam's Club and buy a whole bunch of food, in the boxes, getting ready for the next month is going to be a little bit less, right?
Yeah.
Clothes would be the same thing. If you start out and need a whole bunch of school clothes for the kids in August, you're not going to need clothes for probably another month until they wear everything out, right? Or they blow out their Nike shoe like Williamson did. Utilities, they may change year to year or based on the month, right? It may get hot in the summertime, so you're not going to need the heater on, and opposite during the wintertime. Gifts, that could also change a little bit, If I get in an argument with my brother-in-law and decide I don't like him anymore, I'm not going to buy him a gift. Save me some money there. But that could change, Another one is the periodic stuff. this is all the stuff that comes up only random times during the year, like your property insurance, your property taxes, that type of stuff. So it's only gonna hit you a couple times. So we've listed a couple things for the income, right? We've got earned income and unearned income. But look at this. These are all the expenses that we could get into. There's over 101 different expenses. If I've only got one source of income, how the heck can I balance it out with all this stuff, right? No wonder our households are in such disarray, you know? How can we manage this stuff? You guys almost have to have a college degree on how to handle your money because of all the things that we keep getting hit by. You know, and I'm sure I didn't include everything, but I wanted to make sure that there was over 100 items there, and there was exactly 101. Look at all that stuff, you know, dry cleaning, laundromat, powwow, shalico, ceremonies, decorations, gifts, manicures, pedicures. My wife took my grandson to go get a pedicure. I haven't even had a pedicure, and he's only 12 years old, you know, really?
Oh, man.
Look at childcare, taxes, groceries, you know, I mean, on and on and on. You're just bombarded by all this stuff. And I gotta give you guys credit for coming to this workshop. You know, hopefully we'll get all these expenses sorted out. All right. So I want you to go back to that monthly expense spending thing that you just had in your course activity. Now we'll look at the middle part. And you can see the monthly expenses. It's got fixed expenses. What is the first item listed there? Pay yourself first. I love it. This is one of the few forms that I've ever seen that actually list that. Normally, they'll put it down here at the bottom. So it's not a priority. That's a wrong message. You know, I want the message to be pay yourself first. Then you can see your car payment, car insurance, other, and then your total fixed. And then you've got all your variable stuff. But look at again, they've got the savings category again on there. They've done it twice for us. Perfect. You know, that really tells me that savings is important. You know, it's an important part of your budgeting. But look at all the other stuff: gas, food, clothing, entertainment, school supplies, all that stuff. And you can again add what you plan on paying, and then what your actual is. And then you can see what your total variable expenses and your total fixed. So it's a pretty basic form, right? Okay? I went out on the internet, and I think there's probably about 10,000 of these different kind of forms. You know, it's whatever you folks feel comfortable with. You make it customized to your household, your expenses, and what you're used to. You know, this form's good for me, may not be good for you, okay? But there may be another form out there that is good for you. But I suggest that you definitely start this. At least start it for this next month in May. You know, see what happens. You know, try it. I give you a challenge. Now, for one of the things that we need to do, we need to be able to track our spending. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You know, after we get paid, you know, maybe use the envelope method. You know that your car payment's $400, so you put that $400 in, you set it aside. Credit card payment, whatever that is, if you can't pay it off, you put the minimum payment in there, you put that aside. Food, what you plan on spending, house payment, whatever, and then you know when those payments are due, you got the cash available. Problem is, you gotta be disciplined. Because I've seen, oh great, Carrie Underwood's gonna be in concert in Phoenix. Let's see here. We got some money here in the car payment envelope that we hadn't paid. Payment's not due until this date. Let's go. Well, there you go. You're deviating from the budget. So it takes a little bit of discipline on this method, but it works for some folks. Checkbook. We give you folks a register for a savings account and a checking account. Use this to track your expenses. You can see everything that comes in and out of your account, right? A lot of us just don't do that. Why? It's too much of a hassle. But it's so important. This way you can track your expenses, and it's here for you. So this might be another form that you can use. I found this one. It was a little coupon book. And you could do it same like the envelope method. Put the cash in there for the payment, put it away until the payment's due. Okay? It's whatever works for you. My wife and I, when we first started out, we used just a simple ledger sheet. We listed down all of our payments, and then by month, that worked for us. Well, it worked for her. What worked for me, because if something got paid off, she'd have to use a whole bunch of liquid paper to white it out and put a new one. I'd rather do a computer than Excel. So I created just a spreadsheet. When something gets paid off, delete the whole roll. Or something add. It's easy to add on that, but for us, it's easy. Again, it's whatever works for you. And then they got all these labels, tons of different labels that you can put on the envelopes, you can put on the cards, whatever you want to do to customize it, Makes it easy. There's so much material out there, folks. They want you guys to succeed. And then you've got, like the account book, like I said, even the computer program. Okay? So, got another question for you. Where's your money go right now? You don't have any idea. Just out the window, huh? The bank? Okay, that's good. Okay? Huh? Bills? Okay. How about any of these items? Monster drinks, donuts, the casino. Don't start me on the casino. Lottery tickets, coffee, cigarettes, going out with your friends for lunch or dinner or whatever, right? All this stuff, Yeah, I do that. One of my students in one of the classes, one of my sessions, he was drinking 4 Monster drinks a day. I said, okay, buddy, let's sit down here. Come here. I need a calculator to figure this out, And we looked at that, and I said, not only is this expensive, you're going to be in ICU in a year. Your whole stomach is going to be gone. And actually he got away from that. So I'm really proud of that success. But these are just some of the leaks that we've got. Unfortunately, we've got some other leaks that may be impacted. Okay? Yeah. Mustang coffee. I love Mustang coffee. Okay? I have to go every morning to get my cup of coffee from Mustang. If not, Kim and Jennifer are going to miss me. They ask me for name by name. If I don't show up one day, they say, Dale, what happened? You didn't show up yesterday. My wife even bought me one of these Keurig coffee pot makers. You think I do it? No. Mustang coffee tastes better, right? Too lazy. There you go. It's cheaper. But they got Mustang coffee, $1.51 a day. $500 a year is what I'm paying on coffee? Wow. The burrito guy, those of us who work downtown, we have the burrito guy and the burrito lady coming in. Okay, I gotta spend my money on a burrito, so I get 5 per week. If the burrito guy knew where I lived on Saturday or Sunday, I'd buy one on Saturday and Sunday too. $480, another $500. Monster drinks, almost 1,000, but that's just one a day. But look at the cigarettes. My gosh. My dad was a 2-pack smoker, and I showed him this and said, Dad, come on. He goes, what's the problem? Missed the whole concept. But $383 a month, just on these 4 things. But $4,600 a year on junk? What could you do with $4,600 or even $383 a month? That could change a lot of things, right? 1 month, there's your emergency savings account. And all I did was just put this garbage. Makes sense. You could even invest that difference in a 401k if you got it through your employer, or any type of investment. Invest in stock, anything that's positive that will get you a return later. But don't blow it on this stuff. But I know a lot of us have different types of spending leaks, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
That I probably didn't include. Yeah. But we're all guilty of that. And I even teach this class, and I still go to Mustang. All right. Yeah. Well, it's so confusing because I get out of my house and it's right there before I get to 66. My car just automatically drives. I can't stop it. All right. Now, number 3. You need to balance your income and you need to balance your expenses. Okay? That's sort of a different concept. So how does your cash flow? Like mine, faster than a speeding bullet. But the goal is actually to match your income with your expenses. So if your income's greater, that doesn't mean you get to spend more. That means you get to save more. Okay? But if your expenses are greater, you need to make some smart choices. You need to make some different there. So we need to make some challenges there. So what type of things could you do different, to get some extra income? Eat less fast food. That's where a lot of, we're victims of that too, my wife and I. Get a part-time job I talked about. Okay, that's pretty tough. You know, we're already working 60, 70 hours a week. How can we get another part-time job? But you gotta make some changes so that you can balance it out. Delay some purchases that you want until you can save for it instead of charging. Hold a garage sale. A lot of us get rid of our treasures, you know, by doing a garage sale. Me, on the other hand, I will never do another garage sale in my life. We took a whole week off of vacation, my wife and I, right? Just to get ready for this garage sale. She was taking the clothes out of her closet and washing the clothes before she put them on the rack to sell. Some of those clothes even had the tags on them. Never even worn them, you know. But we went through closets and cabinets and everything. We had it all set up. So come the morning, we're doing the garage sale, and she's at work. She worked part-time, or part-day that day, because it was on a Saturday, so she was going to get off and help me during the rest, so she let me man it on my own. So I was getting rid of purses. I didn't know what a D&B purse was. I was letting them go for about 50 cents. I'm lucky I'm still married. Well, she forgave me. Then I told her, I said, look at all the money I've got. And she just had that deathly woman stare that I've only seen a couple times in my life. But we were doing great. So at the end of the day, you know, we made about $150. That's not too bad, you know, selling some of the stuff that we had. The problem is she set her cell phone on the corner of the table when she was talking to somebody. The cell phone got up and walked away. So we lost our cell phone. So the cost to redo or recover the cell phone or replace the cell phone, it was $200. So I made $150 and I lost $200. So I only made $50 all day. Never again am I ever going to do this, or else at least I'm not going to do it with her. But you know, just different things to do. Shop at used clothes stores. You know, even Goodwill. Goodwill is a fantastic store to go to. You can get some really gently used stuff and some things that are marked way down. I'm a golfer. I love to play golf, and I walk, so I need a pull cart. Now, I was just in there looking for a bed frame for my grandson, and there's a pull cart up against the wall. Well, the pull carts, if you bought them brand new, $180. This pull cart, $4.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I said, cool, I got it. The only thing that was wrong with it, it had 3 flat tires, and it had a little dirt on it. Big deal. If you golf the way I do, it's a wonder that it still had dirt on it, or flat tires. I'm all over the mountains. But I saved $176 on this really, you know, top of the line pull cart just by shopping Goodwill. But what does that do? It gives back to the community. It's a win-win situation, really. Okay? Drink lists of power drinks and all that stuff. You know, when you go out to dinner, think about just getting water. You know, water with lemon. My wife and I were going out and we were leaving half of the Cokes and half of the tea. You know, I thought, wow, we're paying almost a quarter of the meal for just that. Why not get water with lemon? It's healthy. And if I leave a little bit, I won't feel guilty, you know? Just whatever you think. You know, there's a lot of different ideas that you can really readjust your home lifestyle to make ends meet.